talk about
fear.
No, I don't talk about
Fear.
What kind of?
Fear's about fear. Not being good enough, not being good enough. Pain of regret, pain of rejection. Lack of success, lack of direction. Storms.
What kind of?
Fears of myself, feelings I hurt, people I fail, failure, failure. Bugs! Saying the wrong thing!
Missed opportunities! Missed opportunities!
Not being able to get back up! Not being confident, not being capable! Fear is my stepping stone, fear keeps me all alone! Ha! Ha! Fear!
Ran and played in the wind and rain, 'cause I felt I should. No other reason. I loved a girl, I built my world with my own two hands. No one convinced me.
I would dance and sing without ever stopping, 'cause I felt like I should. No other reason. I loved a guy, I reached up to the sky with my own two hands. No one convinced me.
And I only did what felt best to me.
I always did what came naturally. I never thought of being a man until you told me so. I never thought of being a man until you told me so. What was I when I wasn't what I should be? What was I when I wasn't what I should be?
Now I see why everyone's confused. They forgot what made them smile when they wore smaller shoes.
How to grow, how to learn, how to feel. They want you to hurt, but they won't let you.
I only did what felt
of being a man until you told me so.
When I joined the Army at the age of 17, I never thought it was a precursor towards becoming a man. It was just something I did, and I enjoyed it, and I was relatively good at it. Year after year, people automatically deemed me as tough and manly, simply because I was a soldier in the Army. Now, I wouldn't say that isn't true, but I couldn't help but think in the back of my head that I'm just a quiet dancer who happens to also be gay. This is all before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed. So, I never really thought of myself as this manly Army man until I won the Soldier of the Year competition in 2012. I was surrounded by loud, rugged, aggressive, manly men and automatically counted myself out. We had to engage in a multitude of events from hand-to-hand combat, land navigation, obstacle courses trudging through mud, and a 10-mile ruck march with 40 pounds of gear on our back. It was a regular triathlon mixed with American Ninja Warrior, and I couldn't help but to continue to think to myself, what am I doing here? So, as each event went on, I felt this overwhelming surge of pride within myself for actually beating the poster children of masculinity in the competition. Even more so, when I was paired up with a soldier clearly out of my size comparison in hand-to-hand combat. His overall mass, in comparison to mine, made me feel like I was a mouse. Even though my body was beyond fatigued, I was so proud of my soldier and every other soldier in the competition. Me, the quiet dancer, the gay man, defying all odds against me to become the manly Soldier of the Year.
When I was 8 years old,
I
liked playing with Barbies. I thought they were really pretty.
I thought they were pretty. They had lots of clothes and shoes.
They had a lot of clothes and boobs. I liked playing with them. I just did.
I would play with Barbies at my cousin Morgan's house.
At my cousin Kyle's house. I didn't have any of my own.
Anymore. I got one for my birthday, but they said I shouldn't play with it.
I don't know if that's how you say it.
A Barbie is not a boy's toy.
I suddenly felt weird for one. I got one for Christmas.
I was so excited.
But then I became embarrassed. I didn't want anyone to know I liked playing with Barbies.
So I thought it was a great present, but
A Barbie is not a boy's toy. I think the moments which make me the proudest are often the moments in which I prove to be my strongest, most capable of handling my situation. When I was younger, I would help my mom with the physical therapy for my little brother. He was born with a developmental delay, which resulted in his growth hormones being distributed unevenly, and his motor impulses didn't always fire correctly. Every morning, we would crawl for a mile on the first floor of my elementary school. We would wear knee pads, push toy cars, and have races. The crawling helped him with patterning physical activity in his brain commands. I didn't think I was doing anything really important at the time, but gradually I realized that it was fundamental for his development. He became more verbal.
Verbal.
More confident.
Confident.
Allowed him to interact more socially. Of course, my parents... But being a part of it means I was part of actually changing someone's life. It means that my actions are more tangible and lasting. And that's pretty cool.
What I am physically unable to do is tell my mom how I truly feel and how much she has hurt me. It's as if there's this never-ending field between me and her, and there's a fear and disbelief and distance for miles and miles.
I get it. My family only sees me one way, and I don't think I will ever be able to change it. It's like I can't become the human I really want to be because I spend so much of my time bottling up how I actually feel.
I am not comfortable telling anyone what I actually worry about, regardless of familiar.
But if I don't speak up, it's as if my frustration doesn't exist.
Exactly.
But when I do, I feel like I'm going to say something dumb or say something stupid.
Dumb or stupid or literally not even being heard. I just want to be able to talk to someone without them placing me on this chart of where they think I am versus where I actually am. How many kids I should have with some
agree that they're entitled to however it is they choose to treat people. Look, I respect people that speak their truth.
I get so angry at closed-minded people.
But what if I'm the one that's being closed-minded? I'm not gonna talk shit about how my mom raised me, because I am the man that I am because of what she taught me.
That's my point.
But I'm afraid that if I say what I want to say, that the one person who I want to love me the most, she won't love me anymore.
I feel like I'm a strong front. I'm fine. I don't need anyone. I'm independent, but it's so fake because the one thing I can't take the most is this huge fear I have of being alone.
It isn't easy. I mean, I'm scared out of my mind that I'm gonna end up alone.
Will you guys just listen to me? Look, I'm sorry. I am not usually an overtly confrontational person, and am in favor of things he did. You know, situations that he handled poorly, responses he couldn't have possibly thought through that I just couldn't comprehend. I knew how he was raised. He is a very large guy. He practically dwarfs both my mother and sisters and really any other normal-sized Homo sapiens. He was raised as a man to understand a certain kind of language, and though I didn't actively seek to speak that language, I had a firm understanding of what that entailed. Well, needless to say, we did not speak freely as father and son. When it came to issues regarding my or my sister's lives, he spoke. And we listened. Option B did not exist. But that all changed one day when I was 17. He had very clearly and intimidatingly voiced his opinions on me one night in particular, and I was done with listening. I raised my voice to a level I was certain that both he and our neighbors would hear, and he lunged. Arms outstretched like a zombie. It's were a blur of broken items and profanities until the wall leading to our attic gave way under the combined force of our weight. We both stopped, completely out of breath, and something just told me to get out before he did. And I did. And I stood there, looking down at my out-of-breath behemoth of a father, and I felt something well up from inside me. I had finally spoken! And we both understood that I was now a man.
I knew that I was technically an adult when I turned 18, but I don't think I ever really felt like a man until a couple years later when I was 20 or barely 21, and I was first in the position of firing someone. At this time, I was the assistant manager of an American Eagle Outfitters. That's right, if you wanted low quality denim made in Bangladesh or a t-shirt with a big ass eagle on the front, you came to see me at the mall. So, we had this employee who already had a reputation for being lazy, but they also had a problem with tardiness. You see, they already had 2 documented tardies, and then a shift comes up where I'm running the store, and what do you know? This person's late. Strikes and you're out, baby. So, this employee strolls in 30 minutes late, no. I walk up to them and go, look, by being consistently late without you, and you know what? We've been pretty successful at it. This is your 3rd documented tardy. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to let you go. Drop from their face. Well, what? How am I supposed to make $6.50 an hour working somewhere else? They were blindsided. What was I doing? I mean, this wasn't me. I wasn't this cold and heartless. I could have just easily have waited and let my store manager handle it later on, but no. The adrenaline was pumping through my veins and I could feel my testosterone level rising. And it could have just been a coincidence, but I found 2 new chest hairs that day. And for the rest of the shift, it was like I was king of the castle. You! Fold those jeans, you! Sweep that shit up! You don't want to fuck with me today. I fire people!
Yeah, so then he was like, right down the wall. Get in there. All right? You gotta get in there.
Ruben, don't forget what we talked about, okay?
Oh my God, they're gonna
Really solitary kid. Yeah, you are. My legs, my arms, my back, hair, just everywhere. Right? I hated taking my shirt off at the beach because could just imagine what I looked like. This miniature Wookiee pulling itself out of the water. Its long, wet hairs rolling down its back in long, glistening curls.
It's like a...
Body hair just isn't that cool when you're a preteen. But what is cool is a mustache.
Yeah.
I fucking had one at 12 years old.
Sure you did. A mustache? A full mustache. Come on. Mustache.
Okay, so maybe mustache is a generous use of the word, but you couldn't see it from a distance. But if you got real close to my face, right here, above my upper lip, if you squinted just off this and faintest strands of hair. You don't believe me?
So here it comes.
Oh, here comes
Yeah. Picture for you, 12-year-old Ruben. Take it home with you. Sleep next to it because that is a cool 12-year-old. I mean, do you guys get it? Do you guys get it? I was the only one.
Yeah, you were.
My middle school was just this sea of hairless children.
So sad.
But among the whiskerless boys and girls, one boy stood alone, like a small brown Burt Reynolds. I think it was a couple of months later, sitting in my kitchen with my family, that my grandfather said that it was time that I shaved. He said that real men shave and make sure they always look good. So he went to his house a few doors down and he came back with an electric hair clipper. And just like that, without talking about it or making a big deal of it all, while my parents sat and talked loudly over the 11 o'clock news, my grandfather shaved my mustache. It only took about 30 seconds, but just like that, my facial hair was gone. Now, obviously, I haven't quite taken my grandfather's words of advice to heart today, but at the moment, standing there and looking at myself in the bathroom mirror, I couldn't help but say to myself, yes, real men do shave, and I do look good. That's my story.
You know what, Ruben, my good friend?
Yes, good friend Gabe.
I've been pondering, nay, pontificating the very existence of man, which begs the question, what is a man, and better still, what are his characteristics? Go.
Oh, I got it.
Yes.
A man has got to have a lot of knowledge, like a big brain, you know.
Got it.
Fair, yes,
You have to have a lot of strength, you know, look at and stuff, and you have to absolutely love salty bacon.
No, I got it. A man has to be handy, you know, like Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Like a handy man.
Fix stuff around the house. A man has to know how to drive a car, especially on the highway, because there's some crazy people out there. And a man smells like, Old Spice.
On me?
Curtis, don't tell that story.
Curtis.
You heard the story before you decided that,
You know what? A guy has to love dogs. Guys really just get along with dogs.
Yeah.
Don't you have 3 cats?
You know, guys like beef jerky. Like beef jerky.
Slim bacon.
And hitting on the ladies. You guys have to be good at that.
Well, you're not. That's a bad opinion. So a guy has to burp a lot. He needs to be probably pretty self-absorbed, but most importantly, a guy has to be a daddy.
Yes, that is.
Not a father, Justin, like a daddy, like
A guy needs to have a dad bod. Like that man. He's got a dad bod. Like he's got the shoulders,
what
he's
does
got
that
the
mean?
jacket, and I bet he needs a beer in his hand.
Please don't support that. No.
And I think whatsoever. No fashion.
I'm matching my colors just fine.
Callus all over your body.
How do you get it all over?
Everywhere. Everywhere. Just a big
How does that
callus
work,
walking
Ruben?
around. And you just gotta hate yourself. And stupid.
Oh.
You could be stupid.
I'm humble.
Yes.
Told you
That
not
was
to
good.
knowledge.
A man's got to be rugged.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like a G.
And arrogant, because you know we know what's
Also,
up.
like,
Duh, know everything.
And I love the taste of coffee.
Yeah, nice black coffee. Fuck Starbucks, man. No. Ain't nobody want no frappuccino.
Big hand pizza.
Hell no.
I mean, but it's still gonna be about dirt.
If
you'd like to know what they say truly makes a man,
That's what we were talking about.
lend me your ears, I'll explain it if I can.
You got the piano.
Comprised of three. Your right testicle. Your left testicle.
Colby's favorite.
Yeah. And your little genital man.
Now.
It's very simple. Dick and balls hanging from my butt, right between my thighs and adjacent to my butt. It's hairy and soft and wrinkly and stout. That's what it's all about. When you're 15, it's got a mind of its own. When you're 50, it's dry as a bone.
No? Oh, okay.
When you're 18, it just wants to be left alone. Wants to take it home. What? And when you're 80, it just wants to be left alone.
What? I'm trying to do my job.
Because the only action you're getting by that point in your life is a satisfying piss.
Come on, boys!
Dick and balls hanging from my butt, right between my thighs and adjacent to my butt. It's hairy and soft and wrinkly and stout. That's what it's all about.
Not every dick is statistically the same, but we don't talk about it, do we? Our genetics are to blame, and sometimes it brings us great shame. Let's give it to 'em, boys!
Dick and balls hanging from my gut, right between my eyes and adjacent to my butt. It's hairy and soft and wrinkly and stout. That's what it's all about.
No matter who you are, a dick is just some skin. What truly defines you comes from within. A dick doesn't make you a man. All right now.
Dick and balls hanging from my guts, right between my thighs and adjacent to my butt. It's hairy and soft and wrinkly and stout. That's what it's all about.
Sometimes a dick makes you act a fool. Chasing this guy named Tush. Remember, you can't fix everything with that tool.
I can fix it with this.
Use words.
A dick in the hand is worth two in the bush. That was a pun!
Dick and balls hanging from my guts, right between my thighs and adjacent to my butt. It's hairy and soft and wrinkly and stout. That's what it's all about.
Every day in the 3rd grade, I would wish I was a girl. I would ask my teacher to go to the bathroom, and I would stand in the hallway and stare at the clock until it was 11:11. And when it was finally time, I would close my eyes and wish to myself over and over again, I wish I was a girl. 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 I wish I was a girl.
All throughout elementary and middle school and half of my high school years, I was always the fat, obnoxious class clown who gave everybody shit and regularly got beat up for it. I was a smartass, or at least I tried my best to be one. But when it came to girls, I was a mess around girls. A girl would come up to me in the hallway and make some kind of smart and funny and really kind of nonchalant comment to me in the hallway. Just trying to make conversation like a regular human being. And I really wanted to reply with something equally smart and funny and really kind of nonchalant, but all I could ever come up with was, yeah. And that'd be the end of that conversation.
A year earlier in school, I got in trouble. And I got told by my teacher, boys don't kiss boys.
Boys don't kiss boys.
Up until then, I had never felt so different from the other boys my age. I was suddenly suffocated with this feeling that I was messed up or defective or something, and I just wanted to feel okay for being myself. I just wanted to feel normal again. So the obvious solution was for me to become a girl, of course, and when I found out about wishing at 11:11, I finally had my opportunity. I never actually got to be a girl, but I kiss boys all the time now, so I guess that's good enough.
I've fallen in love twice in my life, and the first time was with Fabiana. She was smart and funny, and she didn't judge me, and most importantly, she thought everything I said and did was comic gold. And she talked to me. She said she felt like she could trust me, that I was her friend. And I had never had that before. I was in 7th grade, and after months of rehearsing alone at home in front of the mirror and in the shower, I suddenly found myself alone with Fabiana in the hallway of our middle school. And I remember the moment so. Take a deep breath. And I said, "Do you like anyone?" And she said,
No? Why? Does someone like me?
I said, "Yeah." She said,
Who?
I said, "Me." She said,
Huh?
I repeated, "Me. Will you be my girlfriend?" She said,
No.
It happened so fast. And little 12-year-old me was paralyzed. I just remember being so embarrassed. I just stood there with this big, stupid smile on my face, and I said, "Just kidding." I became obsessed with her for years after that. I retreated even deeper into my shell. And years later, even in my last 2 years of high school, when I became a dick and I lost all of this weight and I started treating girls like shit because I realized that I was the only straight guy in the drama club, so all of the other drama girls were into me. Even then, through all of the high school homecoming dates and high school first kisses, even then, I thought about Fabiana.
Okay, here we go. All right.
I did nothing.
Over here's a chair.
Who's up?
All right.
And Jay. Okay, here we go.
Right, here we go.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. How's your arm?
There you go.
Okay. All right, young MC, here we go. Okay. Do it. Here we go.
Shoulders.
Okay.
Zip. And
Nice and easy.
I like that. That was good. Caleb? Justin, you okay? Hey.
What are the guys? Here we go. Drawing him out.
Okay, grab his butt.
Whoa! Very nice. That was a dish.
I'm tired. Come on.
It's fun. It's fun.
We got everything.
Chris, put me such a dick.
Uncle's you what?
You're a dick. You've got one chance, don't waste it. So close to the prize, you can't taste it.
And all you have to do is respect and gratitude. Start today. Carry weight. I expect to be in my eyes. You should get to know. And they don't like you either. Don't be a dick.
To feel good, but you're running down.
Don't be a dick. We gotta know what goes around. Don't be a dick. You're bringing everybody down.
Dishonesty is the worst possible policy, and not just because of what it fucking does to me. You have to live with lies on top of lies. If stress makes you age, I hope you moisturize.
I moisturize my balls and I moisturize like
Don't be a dick. We got enough of those around. Don't be a dick. You're bringing everybody down. Don't be a dick. 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 Don't be a dick.
and innovate. Don't call people names and
don't be a dick. Don't be a dick.
Disrespectful. No,
Say you're sorry.
That's awful.
Fine.
Don't be a dick. Got enough of those around. Don't be a dick. You're bringing everybody down.
The idea that being a man is primarily about being a provider for your family. Now my family just consists of myself and a small super cute Chiweenie. I still feel very manly being able to provide for my family in any way that I can. From cooking, to cleaning, mowing the lawn, fixing things, and even providing financially for them. There is nothing that I wouldn't do for my family. I learned to do all these things from following the example that my father put forth in front of me for years on end. Now, he was often absent in presence due to the fact that we worked a lot to ensure that me and my entire family was taken care of. The traits of being burly, possessing a square chin, scratching my bodily organs, and even spinning are not the only descriptors of what it is to be a man for me. Seeing my father do this for years on end exposed me to the traits and qualities that I've always felt will indeed be what makes me be a man.
It smells terrible in here.
Yeah, it smells so much better in the girls' restroom.
What?
I heard from someone, they walked by it and they told me it smells better in there.
I mean, I've walked by, but I've seen like a couch in there, like a nice patterned couch.
You need a couch in the vending machines. You can get a little pack of.
Yeah. I dated a girl that always needed a quarter for something.
Like Gatorade?
Wasn't very often. It was like once a month.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that's about. Yeah, it's weird.
I think the couches are probably to like watch all the TVs they got in there.
Them all a subscription to open I go in there.
I don't know. I just feel like at some point it's so strange. Like I just feel like there's just gonna be one bathroom because it's like everyone's just pooping. Like you just go in there.
They have one.
Do your thing.
It's a family restroom.
Yeah, they have the little baby.
No, not like a family restroom. Just like a restroom that like men, women, doesn't matter. Just like
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we're all just doing our business. So really, what's the big deal?
Pooping, peeing.
Yeah, it's maybe kind of it's maybe just like it's gender neutral. You know, maybe something like a gender neutral bathroom in the sky. There is a place we all go when we die, where everyone is. That's right.
Gender neutral bathroom in the sky.
In the sky.
Gender neutral.
And I only pray to an ethnically ambiguous Jesus Christ. His truth is black and white. He's way up high. Now
Gender neutral in the bathroom in the sky.
the sky.
Gender neutral
You and
bathroom in the sky.
No matter what you have in your pants, you too can be in paradise and we'll do a heavenly dance. I'll meet you there in the bathroom in the sky. In the sky.
Gender neutral.
You and I.
All of God's children, every belief, every creed, every single person has a perfect place to be.
Gender neutral. Bathroom in the sky.
In the sky.
Gender neutral. Bathroom in the sky. All of God's children, every belief, every creed, every single person has a perfect place to be. I'll meet you there in the gender neutral bathroom in the sky. You and I. I'll meet you there in the bathroom in the sky. In the sky. You and I. Gender neutral bathroom in the sky.
Oh my god.
Gender neutral bathroom in the sky.
42 people per second are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking in the U.S. And nearly half of all women and men in America have experienced psychological aggression by a partner in their lifetime. That's an even percentage, folks. 50-50. Now, let's say there's 100 people, and these 100 people are all victims of suicide. Out of these 100 people, 78 statistically are men. But there's something more here. Did you know that women will attempt suicide 3 times more than men? Which means that out of those 100 people, the 22 women in our model will have died on their 3rd attempt. But men Men almost always die on their first try. All suicide is terrible regardless of gender. This is for anyone who needs to hear it. Now let's say there's 100 people, and these 100 people are all victims of rape. Out of these 100 people, 38 statistically are men. Yet rape is the least reported crime among men, because if they report it, they are seen and treated as weak. So, they remain silent after rape and sexual assault. All rape is terrible regardless of gender, but if you need to hear this from someone first, please, talk to someone.
But no one wants to talk about it.
No. No one wants to talk about domestic abuse when it comes to men. Because men aren't victims. Men are aggressive. Nobody wants to ask a man why he has that black eye. Nobody wants to ask a man why it looks like he's been crying all night. Nobody wants to offer a man help or shelter. And no man wants to betray his community by reporting abuse, because men aren't victims. Men are aggressive. Men aren't weak. They're strong. Men aren't addicted. They trust themselves. Like these don't come out of the blue. You deserve better. They're pointing out my pain. You deserve better. And they and you and I all know it's true. You deserve better. Actually, I stopped asking my friends to go out. I just wanted to be alone. Every night.
I can't stand the screaming, slamming door.
I had no money and no way out.
I can't tonight, babe, I'm too poor.
You deserve better. You better wake up, you baby, you better get a clue. You deserve better. But slowly I fall down and disappear. You deserve better. 'Cause they and you and I all know it's true. You deserve better. LOL, your boyfriend's being a dirty little whore. I see the letters. Aware of what they mean. Out. I should probably leave. I deserve better.
When I was 18 years old,
Sending in that last check to pay off my student loans was a very proud moment for me.
USC, Columbia, Cornell, even Harvard, they all wanted me. You know, some even gave me scholarships, others tried to woo me with trips and incentives.
This is a major accomplishment for many people. I'm sure it has to be. I mean, it takes several years to finish, and sometimes you feel like the end will never come, but I think that my point of view might be slightly different.
But up until that point, I've lived a life of accomplishment by the standards I thought I'd always wanted. That as a young black male growing up in America, coming from two impoverished parents, the standards I'd been trained to both value and pursue.
You see, I never actually finished my degree. My fault. Oh, is that it? You just didn't finish college? Big deal, right?
Do good things, son. Push yourself. Be a big deal, right?
But I paid for it, you know, and my parents made countless sacrifices for me to go. It'd be like making car payments on a vehicle that you'll never get to drive off the lot.
You know, I did everything I thought my parents wanted me to do. I pushed myself to excel at everything: sports, academia, leadership, much to the adulation and recognition of everyone else, based solely on the things that I'd done.
But this was successfully paying off my loans, the final reminder of something that I desperately wanted to move on from, was empowering.
I had accomplished these things, not some fictitious ideal of myself or some fantastical creation born from the expectations of others.
I knew that I was starting a new chapter.
I controlled my past, my present, and my future.
My life didn't have to be defined by past mistakes. I wasn't
going to let it.
After I graduated college, I moved back to my hometown of Coleman, Michigan, which is basically known for its one stoplight on Main Street and the farms that surround it. I had graduated college with a degree in theater arts, hoping to be a professional actor. But instead, I was about to start working for...
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets carpets cleaner.
That is until a miracle happened. And the day before I started using a vacuum, I received an email from Florida Studio Theater welcoming me into my internship program. Now, this adventure only paid me $75 a week with free housing, but the adventure only lasted until the end of summer, and then I needed a new adventure. I needed something else. And I didn't want to stay in Florida, and I definitely did not want to go back to Michigan, so the day Dallas. I knew I had several theater companies, and how much afford it. So I drove to Dallas only having what was in my car and only knowing one person. But when I got there, that one person didn't even let me stay with them. So the first night, I slept in my car. And then the next 2 weeks, I stayed with my mom's cousin. And then the next 2 weeks, I stayed with my brother-in-law's cousin. Until the day. So it's like I somehow managed to have 3 jobs, an apartment, and I was casting a show. I'm proud of this experience because it allowed me to take ownership of my life and to start living my life freely with my own ideas, my own compass, and my own passions.
In the moment, I didn't feel an overwhelming sense of being proud of myself so much as an emancipation or something like that. But if I were to choose a moment now that I'm proud of myself for having lived through, it would be the first time I ever fought with my grandmother on my father's side, Grandma Dean, aka probably the devil. So it's me and both my grandmas and grandpas and both my aunts and my uncle on my father's side and my neighbor from down the street, Katie, and not my mom because she's in prison right now, which is really convenient at this particular moment. And we're all sitting in a jail visitation room across from my brother, who's been arrested and detained for what we've been told at this point is probably a murder charge. The murder in question is in reference to the death of my father. So, my 16-year-old brother's probation officer is talking about the charges and how long he might have to spend in jail. And meanwhile, I'm furious because the night they arrested him, no one let us see him or talk to him. No one answered any questions. And still to this day, no one's asked me what I think about what happened or anything like that. So anyway, the probation officer finally gets to addressing who will be in charge of Colton if he gets released. Well, it's immediately determined he can't live with me because I'm barely 18 and I don't have a steady job. He can't live with my mother's parents because they don't have room or money for him either. And he can't live with my father's parents because they live in Alabama. So it's either my aunt's big expensive house or my other aunt's big expensive house. Or Katie's house down the street. Well, Katie, like any human willing to help a child through a tragedy, says, of course, she'll take care of Colton if he gets released. And immediately, like so fast, my grandmother refuses, saying that Katie was probably very nice and very important to me and my brother, but she was not a blood relative. And all I can think is we're sitting here in front of a child who's been told he's put in jail and will probably stay there because he killed his own father, and we're pettily tossing him back and forth and no one can stand to bear the burden of him. So finally, I go off with my grandmother and I tell her to be quiet and that Katie was just as important as any family member or blood relative. In the moment, this wasn't a fun time at all, but I think I finally achieved something that no one else in my family could. And I think that's the moment when I became my own person. It may seem small to someone else, but no one speaks out against her. For instance, my father wanted to be cremated, but he knew she'd have some crazy shit fit over it, so he never even told her. So, sure, I didn't have any money, and I had to figure out how to live all by myself, but every choice I've made since then has been supremely mine. And I think there's something sort of beautiful about that. I'm okay. Really, I'm okay. I'm just fine, believe me. You don't have to stay. I'm not upset. There's nothing wrong. I promise I would tell you if there were something going on. I'll just walk it off if I can learn to walk it off. I'm not giving in. I'm not going soft. I'm a fighter. I've got a story now, but I wouldn't mind just being normal if you could show me how. Why would I want to sing out loud something I don't want to talk about? Why would I want to sing at all? I know, I get it. I should be a man, but I don't see how that could be part of my plan. I'd really like to see what it's like to be myself and to actually trust my feelings instead of putting them on a shelf, so I won't walk it off. I'll just feel it out. I'll try to learn what all of this should be about. But it's no big deal. That's just how it goes. But don't say a word. No one has to know. Why would I want to sing out loud something I don't want to talk about? Why would I sing at all?
Do you ever talk about fear? No, I don't talk about fear. Fear's about fear. Not being good enough, not being good enough, not being good enough, not being good enough. Pain of regret, pain of regret, pain of rejection. Ah! Lack of success, lack of direction. Storms, 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 storms. Fears of myself, feelings I hurt, people I fail, failure, 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 failure. Bugs, 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 bugs. Saying the wrong thing, saying the wrong thing, saying the wrong thing, saying the wrong thing, Missed opportunities, missed opportunities, missed opportunities, missed opportunities. Not being able to get back up, not being confident, not being capable, not being confident, not being capable, not being confident, not being capable, not being confident, not being capable. Fear is my stepping stone. Fear keeps me all alone. Fear is my stepping stone. Fear keeps me all alone. Fear is my stepping stone. Fear keeps me all alone. Fear is my stepping stone. Fear keeps me all alone. Ha 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 ha.
I'm scared out of my mind that I'm gonna end up alone. I know that I'll never find someone again. And I'm supposed to spend my life with you, my partner, the person that makes life worth fighting through. And I'm not talking about being desperate for someone to date or just great stuff for sure, but I refuse to just jump into something or settle for the next person that claims to want to marry me. I mean, what good is that? You owe it to yourself to be certain that this is what and who you really want. I'm looking for the real deal, and I'm to the point where I'm starting to wonder if it's ever gonna happen. And I know all the ways to rationalize it. I can just tell myself, I'm young and everything will work out fine because it's what? It's supposed to? I wonder if I'm starting to sound selfish or not. I mean, like I deserve it or something. I mean, I don't deserve anything. I'm just a guy. Just a guy, same as anyone else. But why does it happen for some people? I mean, so quickly even, while others are spending some of the great years of incomplete. I just don't know time that they're my age. And I know. I just want reassurance that it's real, what I'm searching for. It's real. That you wake up next to a flawed, broken person and you know that life is so much better together than trying to go at it alone. That this person builds you up to be able to tackle the dark, scary, twisted parts of this world, and you never have to question their love. Tell me that's real. And no, I shouldn't compare myself to other people or put so much power in the number that reflects my age. But I feel like the pool is getting smaller. The older I get, the more other people match up, the less candidates there are left. I mean, that's true, isn't it? Where some people were able to pick that perfect Scrabble tile out of the bag of tiles so early in the game, we're all at the end, and I'm standing there, I'm sitting, I'm staring at my little stand, at everything that's left, and I'm not seeing a word. I first fell in love at the age of 20. It was the best and worst thing that's ever happened to me. It was a young love. We were crazy in love. Whatever you want to call it. It just wasn't right. Now, at the age of 28, I feel I've found that type of love that you never want to turn your back on. Deep down, just a bashful little middle school girl who wants to write you a handwritten note, slide it to you, and ask you to circle yes or no, just to find out if you like me. I get nervous. My stomach fills with butterflies, and I feel like the luckiest man in the world. The kind of love that I think I found is the type of love that you see in movies that everyone hates to see because you know that it's not real.
Regular rom-com for your real life.
Colby, come on, it's about to get good.
It's scary because there's so much at stake, so much unknown when you finally let your walls down, those that you've had up for so long, and allow yourself to fall in love.
It was so easy to let him in.
From the first time that we shared a moment of intimate conversation, I felt this overwhelming sense of comfort and understanding.
She makes me happy and I make her happy.
When you love someone, you should add to their happiness, not be the only thing that makes them happy.
I don't want to take away from your life, take you away from your friends or family, but I want to be the person that adds joy to your life.
So many people lose themselves in relationships. They change. They start to give up who they are and what they want.
I don't want to do that.
I love making him blush.
Making her smile with little surprises.
Just being two complete idiots together.
You know, I've considered telling my parents that maybe it's not going to work out for me. You know, maybe I should sit them down and have them prepare themselves for the chance that nothing comes of it. And that I haven't given up and I don't think any less of myself. And of course I'm going to continue dating and putting myself out there. But maybe it's better to not spend the energy involved in worrying about it. You know, just in case.
You know, they've been talking an awful lot about being a man, and I guess the reason why I haven't said much of anything is because I haven't really thought of myself in that way. I've always thought I was just one of about 8 billion people, and so human tended to suit me a lot better and simplify things and be as free from hate as I think people.
No, you have to be dad, bro. Have a dad.
Husband, kids, am I a woman? Am I a
I only did what felt best to me.
I always did what came naturally.
I never thought of being a man until you told me so. I never thought of being a man until you told me so.
I wasn't what I should
of being a man.
What was I when I wasn't what I
me
should
so.
What was I when I wasn't what I should
of being a man.
What was I when I wasn't what I
told me
should
so. I never thought of being a man until you told me so.